Hello everybody and welcome to episode 9 of Joy-Con Cast. I'm your host Nicholas, and this week we have a ton of updates on the way. So this week is update galore with some interesting announcements for games, services, and more. So hopefully you're excited to hit that download button all week long. Because there are some downloads coming or else already available for Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch titles. But first, how's everybody doing this week? Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Joy-Con Cast. Hopefully you're ready for some Nintendo Switch news, because boy, do I have it. Getting right into things, let's jump into something that I actually didn't get a chance to talk about last week, even though it was pretty big information last week. I just didn't get a chance to talk about it, and that is Nintendo Labo VR. Now, when it comes to VR, Nintendo has been kind of on the skeptical side of it, I guess. The Switch currently, other than Labo VR, has no appropriate way of doing VR like PlayStation does, or like the HTC Vive, or anything like that. And I'm pretty 100% sure that it's because of power. The Switch just doesn't have the appropriate screen nor processing power to handle anything VR. But with the Nintendo Labo VR, kind of hitting store shelves, now there is a way to play games in VR, and they're not just VR gimmicky kind of games either. Of course, there are. We did discuss the Labo VR sets. I did talk about those, but there's some pretty important updates regarding Labo VR, and that is that Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey will be getting Labo VR support. So, there will not be just mini games you can play with Labo VR after you build the set. You can actually play fully fledged Switch titles with it. Now, there is an exception. From what I've heard, when it comes to Super Mario Odyssey, it's not as expansive as you might think. But the VR experience or the VR content that you get is actually in Cap, Seaside Kingdoms, and I guess Cap, Launchland, and Seaside Kingdoms. They're fully playable with kind of a VR experience, I guess. However, you don't need VR to be able to play this. Of course, if you have VR, you do gain some more utilities. You do gain some more of that VR experience, but it's kind of like a different way to play the game in a different light. It's very odd. It's very confusing. Like, even after going through and researching it, I still don't really understand, but it's kind of different little experiences you can get on different kingdoms when it comes to Super Mario Odyssey. And like I said, it won't require Labo VR to play, but it is VR content for Labo VR. And that launches on April 25th, 2019, and I do believe Labo VR is available now. But those updates for Mario and Zelda will launch in just a week or so, in just a couple days. When it comes to Breath of the Wild, it's a little more expansive, and it looks like you can actually play through the entire thing in VR, and it looks kind of odd. I've seen like screenshots, and it's not like a first-person perspective that you gain. It's still that third-person perspective, but it looks like there is going to be more of an emphasis on motion controls and moving your head to, you know, make a Link move, stuff like that. And I mean, hey, at least Nintendo's kind of trying stuff with the VR. Obviously, we're not gonna get like Doom VR or Skyrim VR or Fallout VR or, to be honest, I don't really know too many VR games, but a lot of them require a big, beefy computer. A lot of them require a very expensive headset. The Switch is only $299. Labo is not very expensive. It's made out of cardboard. So the experiences that you're going to get aren't supposed to, nor will they, compete with PSVR or the HTC Vive or whatever else there may be. And I don't think that's necessarily the case. I don't think Nintendo does anything, especially this generation with Switch. I don't think they're doing anything to necessarily compete with other competitors or compete with Sony or Microsoft. I think they just they look at what other companies are doing and put their own twist on it, their own spin on it. And that's really all there is to it. I don't think anybody is going to seriously contemplate between Labo VR and PSVR. So it's interesting Nintendo's doing anything at all. It's even more interesting that Super Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, the biggest Switch titles, are getting some sort of like Switch support, or VR support, I should say. And in Mario's case, while it may not be a lot, at least it's getting better. At least it's something. At least VR is kind of playing a role in Nintendo's future. And that's where I lay the question, what will the future of Nintendo in VR look like? What will the future look like for Nintendo in VR? I mean, if this takes off well, I mean, obviously, Labo in itself, obviously that's been doing somewhat well. I mean, we've seen different sets released over the years now since its announcement. We've seen it get different support with VR stuff coming out, just different sets in general hitting store shelves. Like, obviously, it seems to be doing well, and while it may not be doing well with like the core, hardcore Nintendo Switch or Nintendo audience like myself, who are maybe in their, their 20s or their older, their 30s or whatever, for children, for education purposes, and for the sake of like just building and constructing things with children, I think it takes off, and it's a very, very cool experience. I don't have any Labo. I don't have a desire for anything Labo. But it does look interesting to say the least, and it's definitely different. It's definitely unique, and I think it's cool that Nintendo is not just doing one Labo set and then leaving it in the dust. They're constantly releasing new sets, and now they're introducing VR to the mix, which is very, very interesting. So I don't know if this is something we can continue to see. I wonder if we'll get like Metroid when that ends up coming, if that will have VR support, and you can actually like aim your Joy-Con and use that as your gun or whatever, or stuff like that. Like, it'd be cool if, like, I know you can play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with the steering wheel Labo thing. I wonder if that'll get VR support in some way. Like, I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to see the possibilities, to see what Nintendo could end up doing. Because when it comes to the Labo, like, there are restrictions. There's only so much you can do with VR, but at the same time, it's kind of it's up for Nintendo to set that restriction. It's up to them to show us how far they can go. When it comes to the VR headset itself, it is actually kind of odd, because from what it looks like, you slide your Nintendo Switch inside of it. You take off your Joy-Con, but you have to hold it up with, I think at least, like, you have to hold it up with one hand. You have to hold up these goggles. There's no strap. There's no, there's nothing to strap around your head. And it looks like the most uncomfortable experience. Like, it looks very, and obviously, like we were talking about, it's not the most expensive or premium way to do VR, but I'm sure there are reasons as to why you have to hold it up and there are no strap. Obviously, I think with the Switch being a 720p screen, I can't imagine a screen like that close to your eyes being good for anyone for more than like 20 minutes. Like 10-15 minutes, okay, but anything after that, like, your arm probably gets tired after that point, and you have to set it down. Along with that, maybe the Switch and the cardboard just couldn't hold themselves with a strap. and it's just not built or engineered for that. I don't know, but like we were talking about, it's not the most premium experience for VR. You do have to hold it up to your face, and that leaves only one hand to control things. So like you really do have to dumb down the controls. Well, I guess they did it with Pokemon. They did it with Pokemon Let's Go, where you can just use one Joy-Con, and it worked in my opinion. I personally liked the way that was done. So I guess they could figure out a way, but it doesn't look or feel, or it doesn't seem like the most comfortable way to play VR. But it is one way to play, and I think that's really, really cool, because that's one thing I love about the Switch, is that there are so many ways to play. You can play it docked, you can play it handheld, you can play it in tabletop mode, and now you can play stuff in VR. I like that, and I think Nintendo should keep adding different ways to play to really make the Switch a truly personal product for everybody that caters to many styles of play, instead of just plug it into your TV in your living room, sit down on your couch, and play. I like the idea of having multiple ways to play your games, and I think it's I think overall this is pretty cool. While it's not something I'm going to buy, I can see it being fun to construct with children, and then going through some of the mini games, and maybe, you know, try out Breath of the Wild or Super Mario Odyssey. I can't imagine it's going to be much better playing them in VR than how they were released just normally, staring at them on a TV or playing in handheld mode. But hey, it's a way to play, and it does lay the groundwork for the future of Nintendo and VR. So maybe with the Switch Pro that there's rumors about again, maybe there'll be more proper VR support for that system. But that's VR for Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey. Moving on, we have update galore. So we actually have a Nintendo Switch firmware update. Firmware update 8.0.0 is live, and it includes the following. You can sort software on home screen. So you can actually sort by title. I think like recently played, most played, stuff like that. No folders still, but hey, this is pretty cool. It's a way to sort your home screen the way that you like it. So if you have specific games that you want, you know, in the front, you can most definitely do that. And I think we're one step closer to more customization options, you know, folders, maybe themes, stuff like that. I don't think it's coming anytime soon, but I do think we're closer now than ever. Next up, you can view all available news. So I believe this pertains to the news section. You can view all the new available news for you. There are 15 new icons from Splatoon 2 and Yoshi's Crafted World. So if you go into your profile and edit your Mii, or edit your little player icon, instead of using the Mii, you can use a player icon. There are 15 new ones. There's some Splatoon 2 and Yoshi's Crafted World new ones. So go ahead and check those out. You now have the ability to transfer save data for individual games, which really caught my attention. So before, you were able to transfer one Nintendo Switch, basically your Switch save from one Switch to another. What I believe this allows you to do, just straight up transfer over your Breath of the Wild save, transfer over your Wolfenstein 2, the New Colossus save, transfer over your you know, whatever else it may be. And that's kind of interesting. I mean, it's not necessarily like anything groundbreaking. There's options to save and back up your stuff already. There are ways to transfer between Nintendo Switch systems. But now you can do it just for individual games, which possibly hints at the idea of a new Switch. I know we talked about that, like a week or two ago. The new Switch that the Wall Street Journal reported for the 50th time. But with those rumors and this update allowing you to transfer individual game saves, it does kind of make you think. Moving on, you now get a new zoom feature. So if you're in somewhere like the home menu, for example, you can press the home button twice and it will zoom in for you. You do have to go ahead and turn this on in settings. But that's that. You can also now prevent the system from waking up from sleep mode when it's not connected to an AC adapter. So if you put your Switch in sleep mode, if you throw it into a bag or something, you can actually prevent it from waking up when it's, shaking in your bag and buttons are hidden and stuff like that. If it's not connected to an AC adapter, if it's not plugged in, it's not connected to power, which is a godsend. This is amazing. I can't tell you how many times I've brought my Switch somewhere and threw it into a bag or set it somewhere like that in a bag, or a Pro Controller even. Like, I'd have my Switch on my lap in sleep mode. I'm not touching it, and I put a Pro Controller in a bag, or the button hits something, and the entire Switch it turns on, and so annoying. So there's now a way to prevent that. There's also now, thanks to Labo VR, there's a VR mode and 3D visual restrictions in parental controls. So if you use parental controls, there are ways to restrict VR mode and 3D visuals, stuff like that. And there's a couple of other things, some other smaller things like you can now. There's some new region support, stuff like that. These were kind of the big updates that hit the Switch. So these were the most important. Nothing really groundbreaking. Nothing really out of this world. No themes, no folders, no Bluetooth support, nothing like that. But hey, there's some new interesting stuff in this update. And this is, of course, I always recommend just update to the newest software, get it done. But yeah, 8.0.0, that's a lot of firmware updates. Sometimes I forget that the Switch is 2 years old now. Man, already on firmware update 8. That's crazy. So hopefully the future, when it comes to firmware updates, hopefully the future is good. Themes, folders, there's a bunch of stuff, but that's 8.0.0. That's not the only update available this week, though, because available today, when I'm recording this, available yesterday, available now, is update 3.0.0 for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So we went pretty much all month without any news. We got that one direct a while back ago that kind of hinted at, or it didn't even hint at update 3.0.0. It just flat out said, hey, update 3.0 is on the way. That's all that we have. We didn't really get any news regarding it. We didn't really get any announcements for it. But now Nintendo uploaded a 15-minute announcement video regarding it. And there's actually a lot that's coming into this update. So let's get into it. So the first thing that we actually talked about last week, I believe it was last week when Nintendo kind of accidentally leaked it, was that Stage Builder is now coming to Nintendo Switch and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So Stage Builder will allow you to create different stages. You can also share and download custom stages. You will need Nintendo Switch Online in order to take advantage of that. And I'd imagine if you have Smash Bros. Ultimate, you probably already have a subscription to that. But that's cool. I'm glad that this is coming. I did use it. I didn't use it I don't know. I used it quite a bit on Wii U. I loved it on Wii U. I thought it was cool. It was cool to just create different stages and make your own unique stage for friends or family or stuff like that. And I'm definitely taking advantage of this. I'll definitely make certain stages for when I go over to family for Christmas and Thanksgiving and stuff like that, and we can have different custom stages to play on. It looks like there's actually a lot of different, you can make layers here. You can have a lot of stuff going on. There's actually a lot of cool things that you can do. So I'm very excited about that. I'm glad that it's confirmed. I'm glad that it's on its way. Next up is a new video editor option. So a new video editor option, where you can record your videos, edit them, chop them up, stuff like that. You can also share and download videos as well. And of course, you need a Nintendo Switch Online subscription to take advantage of that. But if you record a live video for Smash Bros. Ultimate, I do not. But if you do, you can now edit your videos. You can trim them up, stuff like that. And you can share them. So that's pretty cool. So if you want to see like other, I guess if you want to see other perspectives of what other people are doing, you can download others' video clips and get a feel for how they play or something. I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. Like, I don't know. It's weird, but hey, if you're a competitive player and you want to get a feel for how others move, how others operate, stuff like that, I could see that being a really cool thing. There are also new Mii Fighter costumes coming. For 75 cents each, you can buy a Morgana hat from Persona 5, Teddy hat from Persona 4. So the Persona content is already there. And you can also buy Tails and Knuckles outfits from Sonic the Hedgehog. So if you ever wanted to play as Tails or Knuckles, for 75 cents, that dream can come true. And then last but not least is, of course, Joker. Joker is available with this update if you have the Super Smash Bros. If you have the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighter Pass. Otherwise, I think he'll still be $4.99. You can always buy them individually. And I really want to play Persona 5. I'm really hoping Persona 5 comes to Nintendo Switch. I really, really am, in some way, shape, or form. There's a lot of games I'm playing through right now that I always mention, but I would love to have this game on Switch. Otherwise, I might just end up picking up for that $19.99 on PS4. Because I really do want to just, I don't know, I just want to play it. It looks good. But, yeah, Joker is now available. He looks really, really good. Like, his render just looks, I don't know, it looks so like Smash Bros, but at the same time, it just looks different. It looks really, really nice. But they showed off his moveset. They showed off a lot of stuff regarding his moveset and him as a character. I am awful at explaining Smash Bros moves or stuff like that. I can't do it. Like, I don't know. I don't grasp the techniques or the I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. But if you want to go check it out, please check out the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Nintendo Switch announcement for all the new updates, all the new content coming, including Joker. He looks so good, though. I'm watching gameplay right now as I speak, actually. And he does look really, really good. He has a lot of, like, really unique and interesting moves. So it's going to be fun to play with him. Piranha Plant was a lot of fun when he came out. So I'm sure online is going to be filled with Jokers all just trying to one-up each other. But yeah, he looks really cool. And this is the start of the Fighter Pass DLC. So this is pack number 1. Character number 1. We still have 4 other characters. Because there's 5, right? I think there's 5. This really, now that he's available, it gets me so excited that Joker's available. But now I'm even more excited because now we're going to find out who the next character is. Probably at E3, I would assume. Because I'm assuming that they're going to release them in seasons. So, for spring we had Joker. For summer we'll probably have another character. Fall we'll have somebody release. And then winter we'll have somebody release. Spring, summer, fall, winter. And then, yeah, spring, summer, fall, winter. And then we'll probably have someone release early next year. Because when this was announced, I think it did say like all the fighters would be out by 2020. So we'll have all of this year plus a little bit of next year. So I think every season for a new character would be perfect. Joker's our spring character. We'll definitely get an announcement at E3. And I could definitely see someone dropping by the end of the summer. And then we'll just kind of go from there. I'm sure we'll have a fall direct and then a winter direct. And we'll get a bunch of new characters. But it's exciting to know that Joker's out now. And now we can look forward to the future. We can look forward to more characters coming. That's always exciting as well. So, yeah, update 3.0.0. It features all that plus Joker. And it's available now. And of course, also there are some other Persona 5 goodies like the Mii suits. There's a new Persona 5 stage. I don't know exactly what it is because I haven't played the game, but it's available now. Even if you don't have the Fighter Pass, you still get the update. So you still get, you can still buy the new Mii Fighter costumes. You still get Stage Builder, Video Editor, all that good stuff. Of course, if you have the Fighter Pass or you pay the $4.99 for that DLC pack, you get Joker as well. But that is that. That's the update. It's available now. Moving on, we have some interesting news regarding some Nintendo Switch games and exclusives, or lack thereof now. So first off, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, the Nintendo Switch exclusive announced at the Game Awards last year, is now confirmed for a July 19th release. And we knew this was coming during the summer. One of the latest Nintendo Directs confirmed that it was a summer release. And this is, man, this summer is just gonna be crazy. We have we have Mario Maker coming out in June. Fire Emblem Three Houses comes out July 26th. Astral Chain comes out the following month. This is coming out in the middle of the summer as well. This comes out like a week before Fire Emblem does. Definitely expensive. Like, I don't know. I think the pacing for 2017 as far as like game releases was beautiful. It was perfect. I loved it. We got like a game every month. They were fairly spaced out. Like there was a fair gap between games. It didn't feel like we were waiting too long between game releases, but at the same time, like, it wasn't like too expensive. You know what I mean? Like, there was a new game every month. It was nice. It was nice. But this, like, I'm not complaining that we're getting all these Switch games, but like even this month alone, we got Hell's Blade, Cuphead, which I still need to pick those games up. We have Mortal Kombat coming out later this year. We have some indies that released earlier this year as well that I want to look into. We have a ton of stuff coming out in the summer that we just talked about. Like, there are so many games coming to Switch now. I don't know how I'm gonna keep up. It's so expensive, but yeah, it's set for a July 19th release. I'm very excited for this game. I have never played the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games, but I will most definitely pick this game up. It looks so much fun. It looks so good. But yeah, this summer is definitely going to be jam-packed with a lot of stuff. So I hope you have your money because your Switch is asking for it. And now moving on for another Switch release title. Even though it's not releasing on Switch, it's releasing far, far, far from away from Switch. And that is Octopath Traveler. Octopath Traveler is no longer a Nintendo Switch exclusive after the game will hit on Steam on June 7th. So it'll be available on Steam, not the Epic Game Store, which is kind of interesting. Octopath Traveler will no longer be a Nintendo Switch exclusive. It's hitting PC. Not the biggest deal. I mean, I haven't played Octopath Traveler yet. I definitely want to pick this game up, but I think PC is a great place for this. I know that there's a lot of even myself, I have PC and I've played a lot of RPGs on my PC, and while personally I would still opt to buy it on Switch just because of the, you know, the ability to take it anywhere with you. Like that I think still sells it for me. And while it's no longer a Switch exclusive, I think this game still, its home is Nintendo Switch. That's its home. That's where it belongs. That's where it feels the best to play, in my opinion. But if you have PC, or if you don't have a Switch, or maybe you have a Switch but you'd rather play on PC, Octopath Traveler is now coming to PC. So I'm not actually sure how this deal works. Since it was a Switch exclusive, I'm not sure how that works with Square Enix bringing it to another platform. It's not like it's coming to PS4 or Xbox. It's just coming to Steam, but it is pretty interesting. So it's no longer a Switch exclusive. Not the worst thing in the world. Like I said, at least it's not coming to like PS4 or Xbox. It's still on Switch. It's a console exclusive. It'll just be available on PC as well. And I think it was last week. I think it was last week or the week before that we talked about the potential new Joy-Con, not Joy-Con, Octopath. I don't know why I said Joy-Con. I'm looking at my notes and it said Joy-Con cast. And either way, we were talking about Octopath Traveler potentially getting a prequel as a mobile game, as well as a follow-up, an actual sequel. So I wonder if those will launch as Switch exclusives. I wonder if those will launch. I know the prequel is said to be a mobile game, so that would hit like Android and iOS. I guess it could still hit Switch. We've had mobile games on Switch before. But yeah, I wonder if we ever get like an Octopath Traveler 2 or some sort of sequel. I wonder if that would launch on Switch. It'd probably launch on Switch exclusively for like a year or two, and then on PC. I could see them doing the same thing with that. But yeah, it's still available on Switch. It's just no longer a Nintendo Switch exclusive. Next up on the list, we don't have a lot of news this week. It was mostly just like updates and stuff like that. But there is something interesting. Disney's new streaming service, Disney Plus, could make its way to Nintendo Switch. So during the announcement for Disney Plus, it's basically Disney's attempt at a Netflix. The Nintendo Switch was shown on an image showing off all the devices to play your games on. And the Switch was there along with like computers and laptops and phones and stuff like that. PS4 was on there. I think the Xbox was on there. The Apple TV, the Chromecast, all that stuff. Xbox, all that. But it's also coming to Nintendo Switch, which I think, I don't know if I've talked about like Netflix and all that coming to Switch before. I have the Hulu and YouTube app. I've never used them. Like, I've tried them when they came out, like, to see what they're like, and I may have watched like an episode or two of something on Hulu just to see what it's like. Maybe watch a video here or there on YouTube app, just to see what they're like. But I don't know, like, I'd rather watch something on my computer, when I'm at my desk, on my monitor, or I'd rather just watch something on my Apple TV when I'm laying in bed, and just stream it on my actual TV. Like, I can't think of a situation ever where I'd rather watch it through the Switch. I mean, maybe if I was like, maybe traveling, and I wanted to load up a movie or something and play something on my Switch, but I'd rather just play video games on my Switch. Like, I'd rather play Zelda or like something on my Switch. I'd rather have like a dedicated like tablet for watching movies or shows or something like that. Like, I'm not mad that it's coming to the Switch. I think it's great. Like, I know there's a lot of people who only have a Nintendo Switch, and so that's why they want YouTube, Twitch, Hulu, Netflix, so on and so forth, because they may not have a tablet, a laptop, a computer, a media box like the Roku or the Apple TV or a Chromecast or whatnot. So for it to come to Switch is a big deal for them, and that's awesome. I'm glad that's coming. Hopefully you use it to your heart's content. Personally for me, it's just like, I'm not mad that it's coming, but at the same time, I'm like, like, I have other options personally. I'd rather just use those other options, but it's coming to Switch. So the question lies, Netflix, where are you at? Where is Netflix? Like I said, I probably wouldn't use it. I'd probably download it just to give it a shot, to see what it's like. But like, I'd rather just watch Netflix and Hulu and all that on not my phone, but like my like I said, through my Apple TV or through a computer or something like that. I do have to say though, it would be kind of nifty if you're watching something upstairs on your Switch, for example. You pull the Switch out of the dock and then you go lay down on the couch downstairs. That would be kind of cool. And then, you have somewhere to go. Bring the Switch with you. Continue your movie. So that is kind of an experience that you don't really get with a phone or tablet. You can't really dock those. But then again, a lot of like streaming services like Hulu, Netflix, so on and so forth, they keep track of your movies. I mean, it's like if I watch something on my computer and then I open up the Netflix app on my phone, it knows right where I left off on Umbrella Academy or The Office or whatever it may be. So it's not like it's a hardware exclusive thing that only Switch can do that. I can watch something on my computer, take my phone with me, and it knows right where I left off. So, I don't know. For me, like, it's cool that it's coming, but at the same time, if you only have the Switch, I feel like it's a really cool thing. But otherwise, it is what it is. So I think that's it for this week. We have a shorter episode. There's really not like I said, there wasn't really a lot of news. It was just mostly updates and the like. But either way, that was it this week. It was kind of dry, kind of light on news, some updates, some game stuff. But either way, hopefully you guys had yourselves a great time listening in this week. Of course, thank you so much for listening as always. If you would like to support the show, you can find us on Patreon. Link will be in the description down below. If you want to follow the show on Twitter for updates and more, you can definitely find a link in the description as well. But with that said, you all take care and have a good one. I'll see you next time. Until then.